Miss your favorite show? Download the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
Don't text and drive. Stop the text and stop the wrecks. Our sponsor, Redlands Jewelers, is family-owned, voted #1 jewelry store in the Inland Empire and serving the area with quality and pride since 1971. Specializing in custom designs and expert repairs, call 909 KCAA.
No matter what it is in life that you want, you gotta go out there and get it. Just don't let it come to a sleeper but a dream. Never give up on your goals, stay focused on you. Focus your view, succeed, cause I'm hoping you do. Keep climbing up the ladder, cause the key to success. Go hard and go home, never settle for less. Life is stress, but we gotta deal with it, homie. Send a prayer to the man.
What's up, team? This is Robert Porter with the I Love San Bernardino County radio show on KCAA NBC 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. We will talk politics, culture, and history. We have my good friend and co-host way back in the day, Talk of the Town, Tanya Hensley in the house. How you doing today?
Woo-hoo, hi.
She also is one of the representatives from the United Way, and Gwen Dowdy Rogers, she's a director, correct?
She is the CEO and president.
CEO and president of the San Bernardino United Way. She should be here shortly. She's on her way. And we will be talking about the Motown event that they will be having at the San Bernardino Valley College on Saturday. So we'll be getting into that in a second. But I'd like to mention our sponsors first. Celebrities Bar and Grill on 40th. How about you? You tell me something about Celebrities.
Oh my gosh, you guys, they have the best steak night for $10. It's amazing. You go, you get steak, you get that big Texas toast with the Parmesan cheese on it, and then vegetable or potato or whatever you want. And Max, he always cooks it up whatever way you want.
And it's really, it's good. It's like a good filling meal. I mean, my mama goes in there and orders it and takes half home.
Okay.
Right? She's like, I'm going to make me my lunch. I'm like, all right, go ahead. You know, it was $9.99, Mama. You can take half home. It's okay.
And what I love about Celebrities is everybody knows your name. Like, you walk in, you get hugs, you get people that are happy to see you. It's just a fun place. And
it could be a family place earlier in the evenings and during the day. And then once the DJ starts to play, it can be a place for youngsters to party and for even us oldsters to go out and have a good time, right?
Right.
So Celebrities is just like a little, I like what Max said. It's a community.
It is a community.
He's like, the $9.99 special brings the community together.
And that's what Max is all about that, though.
Yes, he is.
Honestly,
yes,
he is. So that's a good thing.
And there is the opening of Juice It Up this Saturday out off of Calamasa Boulevard right here. And it's Max's new venture, Juice It Up with Zoe. And they are going to have a spooky fest out there in general in the area. So I'll post that up if you guys would like to check that out. It should be fun. I have to also mention Fire Mariscos and Wings and Ribs. Geraldo Del Campo really wants to do good things in the community. So he had his doors opened up with music playing for Route 66 this weekend.
Nice. Nice.
So me and Amy went in there. We had the happy hour special. It's a half order of ribs or wings, and then we got a fish taco. Fish taco's $1.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's not huge, but it filled me up. It was good. And then you can put the spicy sauce on there and get it really nice and hot too.
Okay.
But they have all kinds of incredible food there. And if you like cocktails or mariscos, that's good too. But they also have a spicy fire sauce that, let me tell you, Tanya, when you're leaving, your lips will be burning. And you'll be like, that was yummy.
So you guys know that hot sauce and jalapenos and all, it's actually addictive. That burn and that fire that you get in your mouth. They've done research on it, and it's actually addictive.
Yeah, you get an endorphin rush, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. You know that fire.
Right.
And then from what Eric says, it increases your libido, too. Is that correct? Oh, that's what Google says. That's what
says.
Google says. Oh, okay.
He just read it. It's all good.
Well, thank you, Fire Morisco and Wings over there. And I just went over and visited, and they always got a good music playing in the background, football or soccer or billiards, golf. I've seen all the different sports on there. So, head on over there and help support downtown San Bernardino like he supported Route 66.
Absolutely.
So what do you think of Route 66?
So a couple of things. I loved it, right? I've been doing Route 66 since I was in high school and going with my dad, and then, of course, taking our girls since they were babies. Antoinette was a month old, the first Route 66 she went to. And then, so I've always loved it. I watched 17,000 steps. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
17,000 steps. And let me tell you, my feet have the war marks. But there were some things missing this year. And it was sad to me because I know why they were missing. And I always loved Albert Okura's cars and just, the boat with the chicken.
Chicken boat was there. I saw it.
I didn't see it.
Yep, chicken boat was there, but that was there later in the evening. So when me and Amy went at night and I saw it drive by, I was like, oh, there's a chicken boat. And it actually made me happy because I was worried, similar to what you are.
Well, and so I looked for it all day. I didn't see it. That, and just, he had such a collection that were fun things to come through. And I would video every year and do reels and that. And it was like, I got video, but not the same caliber, not the same extent of what was going on. I did have someone ask me to help them with some judging on awards. And so we did that, and there were some really cool cars, and they gave me a new appreciation for some things I wouldn't have looked at. There was a beautiful Hudson Commodore, original interior, paint was original. Like, you looked at that car, and that was truly a luxury car. And then, my heart belongs with hot rods and a fastback Mustang that had Cobra jets, and so that one definitely sold my heart this year. And I've always liked that kind of stuff, muscle. So
my highlights, I'll give one positive, one negative. The positive was seeing all the old. I like Chevy Bolairs because my dad built one in the garage of my house. So I like to see all those old cars out there, but I also like to see when they put the dolls or the animals with their cars in the setup. I like that scene because it looks really good in pictures, right?
Right.
One negative thing, for some reason, I guess someone must have stolen the street lights copper because none of the street lights were working, right? So some of those streets were going down. It is pitch black. Now, unfortunately, that's the city's fault too, but Chamber of Commerce should have realized that and put up more lights because some of those areas were real dark, and I was like, it kind of sucks for those people who pay money to have that spot and no one can see your car, right? I mean, so there's a couple things we could work out, but I did have a fun time, and it was cool seeing all the public and get pictures with everybody and saying hello and having fun. I do have to mention our I Love San Bernardino spot standout of the week. I almost said spot.
Okay.
Our standout of the week today is Arlington Rogers Jr. Born San Bernardino, loves it very much. So
yes.
He worked for the city forever. Forever. But just recently left to bigger and brighter things. And I'm hoping he's going out to gain experiences at different spots so he can come back and end up being our city manager or something. I don't know. You never know. I got hopes. But Arlington's a great guy. He's also involved in a lot of fraternal organizations here locally. He loves to protect our history. Definitely loves to protect the Martin Luther King Monument and has helped with the rejuvenation of that because the hand has been knocked off. Right. And we have to replace it with a new one, and all this stuff is a lot of work, and and I'm just glad to have him. It's weird, like for me, like I'll be fighting for something, and all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, I find out he's fighting for the same thing.
Right.
So
right.
when you have like your twin out there doing the same work, you're like, man, that's the kind of stuff that you have to recognize and give props to. And of course, his lady is also a pretty prominent, but she should be here pretty quick here.
Right.
But she unfortunately cannot have a standout of the week because I haven't been giving it to politicians because they get enough standout of the weeks all the time, right? But I do appreciate what our politicians do as well.
Well, I think it's important what you do in recognizing people that do different things in the community that wouldn't necessarily get recognized, right? And we both know Arlington. We had him on the show really early on.
And you've been a standout of the week as well.
Yes, and I appreciated it, believe me.
Eric hasn't. You're mad at me, Eric? I'm
Eric,
sorry. I'm sorry, dude.
You know what? We'll work on it, Eric.
You're on every show, dude.
You always stand out.
You're standout of the year, buddy.
Right. There you go. Yep. And I love Arlington's heart. Like, once I got to know him and the different things he does and the positive passion for our community, you can't help but love him. Just like with you, right? We may not always agree.
Yeah, and the other thing about him is he don't beat around the bush.
Nope, right? And I love that about people.
Yeah, he'll tell you the exact truth with the facts that are associated with it, and that is a person you can trust. And you don't trust them for everything, when someone says stuff like that, but it helps when they add facts to things, and then you can take it into yourself and come up with a better idea, right? People who tell you half truths and don't really tell you what's going on but want you to follow them anyways, I don't trust that stuff. So Arlington is definitely not one of those.
Right. No, he does a good job. And it's the process of helping you understand and see it, right? And being willing to have that conversation, debate back and forth, and then looking at, okay, how do we either agree or agree to disagree? And it's the concept of still wanting to work together in the community to move forward. So I really love him and his positive passion for that. And
he also could be a standout for his snazzy dress. So,
okay.
He's a snazzy dresser. So I have to give that up to him. Thank you, Arlington, for being standout of the week, and thank you for everything you've done for our community, and you will continue to do, I'm sure, for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
I also would like to mention Ray Charles event. We had our crew on the show last week on Mill Creek Cattle Company, Thursday, October 12th at 6 p.m. The Ray Charles event costs $10 plus the meal over there. So if you like steaks, they got some good steaks over there at Mill Creek. And this should be a great show. He's got a great voice. So head on over there to Mill Creek Cattle Company and watch the Ray Charles event Thursday, October 12th at 6 p.m. $10 plus a hot meal. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention one of my favorite days. Indigenous Peoples Day is today here in the state of California. We also concurrently celebrate Columbus Day as well, kind of like supposedly the beginning of Western civilization brought to the United States. But if you're an anthropologist like me and a historian, you know that the Vikings beat Christopher Columbus by about 500 years. So, and then the Native Americans, well, they happen to be created here. So, I mean, that really beats all of them. So I will study both and understand both, and we can celebrate both at the same time. For Indigenous Peoples Day, though, I will mention that our local group, the Yahaviatam here, Serrano Band of Mission Indians, is the one group that we probably should be studying here in the city. Also, the Gabrielenos were very close to here, from more like Harupa up to the coastal areas. And then we also had the Kuya, who are in the Lucena, who surround us. But our main group right here and in our mountains is the Serrano, and they were out throughout the San Bernardino Valley. And this is the San Manuel Yahaviatam creation song that was described in the Sun newspaper in 1929.
Okay.
And was told by Roy Manuel, the chief of San Manuel at the time. And this was interpreted by Florence P. Chino from Morongo. So, obviously he spoke better English, right? So he interpreted, but that means that Chino probably spoke Cahuilla. And I always wonder if this story was told in Serrano or Cahuilla. But since we weren't there,
we don't know.
Yeah, we only have what's left here. But okay. The world was populated by two great fathers who lived on Mount San Gorgonio, known to the Indians as Grayback Mountain, the chief said. These two men sprang from feathers dropped on the mountaintop by an eagle, he said. The two great fathers did not agree when they talked of making men to live in the valley, said the chief. One of them wanted to make men with webbed hands and eyes in the backs of their heads so they could see in all directions. The other wanted men as they are today. The first great father wanted to make men so they could live forever. The second refused, claiming the world would become overcrowded. Because they could not agree, the first great father went down into the middle of the world, and as he went there was an earthquake. The only men of his liking that he left on the earth became ducks. The other great father continues to live on Grayback, where he and his men are there today. Then he gave them bows and arrows to which they hunt game, but the Indians killed two of their own men while trying to learn how to use the bow and arrows. They became afraid that the great father would kill them because the two men had been killed. So they planned to kill the great father. This was hard to do because the great father disappeared every night and no one knew where he went, because the great father put the Indians to sleep by smoke from his pipe. Then the Indians told a lizard to find out where the great father went, and the lizard followed the great father into the crack in the great pole and held up the tent in which all the Indians slept. The lizard found the great father's hiding place, and then the Indians appointed one of the medicine men to kill the great father. The population of the valley. Chief Manuel was rambling in his discourse, but the audience gathered that the Serrano Indians populated the Big Bear Valley originally, then scattered throughout San Bernardino Valley, and gradually came to speak different languages. He told the localities of various tribes from Yucaipa to Pomona, giving the old Indian names for these places. So if you look at this, so you have to take this kind of history as from the perspective it's told in. This is a reporter from the Sun at a historical society or pioneer society meeting, listening to Roy Manuel explain the creation story of his people in his language. Then it is interpreted by Mr. Chino, and then, written down by the reporter. So you can't take this as total truth. But what it does is give you some insight if you do know the original creation song in its totality, right? So there's a similar creation song amongst the groups here in Southern California, and extensive writings have been done on the ones from Agua Caliente and Palm Springs and from the desert Cahuilla, because they weren't assimilated as quickly as the groups that were closer to LA and San Diego. So they kept part of their tradition longer, right? So if you read those books by Kroeber, the early anthropologists that studied them, it kind of gives the same exact kind of story as here, except more detailed. I do believe the lizard might have been a gecko.
Oh, okay.
A desert gecko. And there's a story that it goes farther, is the great chief actually goes to the ocean and he defecates 3 times. And one of those defecations is eaten by a toad. And the toad ends up poisoning the great father.
Mm.
So interesting stories all around this. Got to take it from the perspective of this was their creation history. Come on in, Gwen. Come on in.
Hello.
How you doing? We're just doing. We're talking about Indigenous Peoples Day.
Oh, nice. Yes,
And
happy Indigenous people.
Yeah,
Day.
we just went through the Seminole like the Yohaviatom creation song that was told in 1929 by Roy Manuel. So he told at a historical society meeting, and kind of was real cool information that I found in here. So I've actually shared this with Mr. Ramos and got it to their educational department over there, because there is lots of little tidbits of history in the Sun, but it is written from the white man's perspective and the Western perspective, and it was interpreted by someone into English, right?
Nice.
So you can't. So it's probably better to study this stuff in
its
Serrano.
original.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is not very easy, team. There's a handful of native speakers of Serrano left. Ernest Siva happens to be one of them out at the Dorothy Ramon Center, and I've done several courses with him. And Serrano is a very fun language, but difficult to learn.
Right. So when are you going to become teachers in the district?
Oh man, I would never.
We need history.
For me, I love to do the history, but I would never even dabble in trying to teach their language, because I'd like them to be able to do that, and they do it so much better than I could ever do it.
True. And you could be a gateway to getting people interested in it.
And that was my master's program, was to build a presentation to show our early history.
Absolutely.
And Santos Manuel is mentioned in that history as an equal amongst the other great early San Bernardinans. So I kind of do that, but like the appropriation stuff, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't occur. So I would rather people from San Manuel tell their story exactly, and then I share what they've told me. So
and I think that's good. And we have to give you kudos, because I know you attend a lot of the events that goes up at the PDC with Sindra Weber, who is an amazing woman of many.
I missed the time you came.
I know, and of all times I built, they showed me how to make my feather and everything, and you weren't there. But she does it, and they do it ongoing, and I think it's great for our kids, and I think it's bringing about the pride as well, her and her daughter doing that. And even if we don't know it all, the commitment is to begin to help tell the stories. So, and you do that, and you've done it forever, so we appreciate you.
Principal Weber, I see her occasionally. I'm not stealing Syndra's thunder, right? But yeah, I love Principal Weber. Yeah. She's awesome. But that is really Syndra's doing. Like, she does that work and works hard at it. Yeah. And we had fun at the family gathering event we had at Indian Springs High School.
Nice.
Was it? No, I'm sorry. Arroyo High School. We had Arroyo High School.
Nice.
And we had.
That is a good idea for it to travel too.
Yeah. So we had Dr. Scott Wyatt came by, and who else was there? We had a great time. It was really fun, and hopefully next year we'll get a superstar out there again, like Danny Trio or Trio.
Yeah, we have to come. I've even shared with new board member Alexander for her to get over and visit, and they do put the post out on social media for us to see the calendar. So yeah.
On that front, before we get into discussing your other job, right?
Yeah, the other.
Yeah, president of the United Way.
Yeah.
Let's a little bit about your other job. You're now county superintendent of schools.
Yes.
Right? Board member.
So yes, we're actually San Bernardino County Board of Education, housed at San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools. I'm just recently fresh off the dais tonight. We had the business of the county to do, but it's been amazing because I went from something like 48,000 plus students that were you served as well, Miss Tanya, to 400,000 students. But the other side of it, what I love, Robert, is that it's K-12, and then we have our community schools, we have our juvenile schools. But you know what? Those are still our loved children. They still maybe have made some choices, and now I get to see the entire spectrum of how I can support students that may have took some wrong turns, but to be able to get to where they need to go, whether they choose to stay there or go back to their campuses after we've done all of the interventions that need to be done. So it's really amazing on that other side. And
can I stop 1 second? just so people understand,
Yeah.
what is the difference between a county school and a city school?
Absolutely. So our city school is, our traditional schools where students, they matriculate K through 12. Your San G, your Pacific, and your San Bernardino High School. Your schools that you would normally hear throughout the city. That's ran by the city, a board of governance that oversights there.
Yeah.
And then you have your county, and your county does some specific things, but yet is oversight over all of the 33 school districts in our district. San Bernardino is very large. But then we have community day schools that are there where students that have something has occurred, in particularly expulsion, or perhaps they got suspended, and then they're in our community schools. There might have been some juvenile types of issues that have taken place, and they're there, but yet they're still in school. There's still teachers that are supporting and working with them. And so the overall goal is to provide that number one intervention with them.
So do boundaries designate it, or is it?
Well, the county is the county, so
Yeah.
your school districts do house within the city schools.
Are city schools within the county?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
They house within, yes.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yes,
for
they
people.
house within your county, so it's
So you
five
even
of
got
us.
Victorville schools
I
and
have-
you're dealing with, and
Exactly.
Highland.
So what they did was everything is broken up it's 5 of us. So unlike our city board, it's 5 of us, and we all have areas. We govern together when we come together, obviously over all school sites. So if we're looking at expulsion from wherever within the county, we look at that. But I have San Bernardino City Unified School District, all of Rialto's Unified School District, and Snowline. So we say up in the high desert. But then area B, which is Ryan McCachran, he goes all the way up into the Apple Valley and Oak Hills and all of, he goes further up. And that is his area. You have your Redlands coverage areas, and then that goes up into the mountains, rim of the world. And then you have Rancho, where you go on the side back that way. So it's 5 areas, A through D. Actually A through E, and I'm D.
Huge job, huge job.
It is.
I do have a one parent, 2 parent questions. So what the main thing I heard, well, not gotcha, but like they're worried about not enough. So like when COVID comes into a
Yeah.
classroom, right?
Yeah.
And then one student gets it.
Mm-hmm.
The students are still like there's no time to like.
Yeah,
The
heal, get
exposure,
better.
like they're not
Yeah.
following the 5-day rule, really,
Yeah.
right? So,
And
like,
we should
I'm
be.
hoping we could look deeper into that.
Yeah.
And the other thing was that, like, kids got put to schools, and then they got pulled away from that school and sent to another school because there wasn't enough room.
Yeah.
And nothing hurts a kid worse.
To be
Yeah,
disconnected after they
yeah,
connected.
thinking you're going to where your
Mhm.
friends are going, or thinking you're going somewhere, and then you have it ripped away.
Yeah.
It could like devastate you
Yeah.
for the rest of your
Yeah.
school career.
And I
Well,
can't add
Yeah,
more
yeah,
to it. I
yeah.
mean, I know I speak to Unified a lot because that's where we serve. And I know Tanya also will chime in on the same. But the beautiful thing about us, and I've been able to share this on the board, we went into school of choice, and we try to do our best. A parent let us know that something is happening there. What happens at the onset of school, a lot of people show up, right? And then you have to make those adjustments because there's new kids coming in. But ultimately, we've been very successful with making sure that, if the parent has come and has made those requests, we want to make sure we get them where they need to go. And I've done it. Parents have reached out to me. I've gotten with assistant superintendents. They just need to be raised aware. As a new sibling coming in, they want to keep them together. So the voice is important, parents. I've always said that. So let us know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I got one more video in the classrooms.
Video. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like
Which
that's
ones?
a thing that's often mentioned is how come there's not a video? So if the parent wants to, they can look in the classroom and see
Oh.
exactly
Yeah.
what's going on in the classroom.
So there is again, we think about what prevents those type of things are laws, right? Privacy matters. We learned a lot during COVID. being in there but not really being in there. So it's it's a twofold thing that came out of it. Yes, it's great. Okay, the parent can kind of check in, but then there's environments that sometimes, we're invading the privacy of someone. Remember, the cameras on, cameras off, and then we wanted to engage with the face, for making sure that the person is okay and in their environments. And so there was a lot around that, and I know you were experiencing that too. There's some.
It would be
kind of
against the law to probably
Yeah.
to have it
Yeah.
broadcast to everybody.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
about like what the police are fighting against? They don't want it either.
Oh,
but
they're
having the body cam. Yeah.
So can I
Laws against
it.
just
Please,
chime
please.
in really quick? One thing that people don't realize is the three of us are sitting here, right? We have agreed to be videoed by what's
True.
going on, right? What happens is when, say we're all students, and say you want to look in on me, your student, but you're capturing Gwen as well.
Yeah.
So now Gwen's privacy and rights have completely been stripped. And so when you start looking at those things that people don't realize, it's not just you have a camera on your student and you can see them. You're seeing everyone, and you don't know how they know their parents or what may happen in the community as a result. And there's a lot there that people don't understand around the laws.
So I really don't know how I feel about this yet. I'm just been listening. I see why a police officer would need one.
Yeah.
And it's now starting to become more about protecting the police officer. That may be necessary with our teachers as well. I'm not hoping that, but I do see teachers, especially when I live in San Bernardino, that get thrown under the bus.
Often.
Yes. And like if they had evidence to the contrary, that could be brought up through a subpoena or something. But enough of the hard stuff. Let's talk about some good stuff.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah.
Because things have to change, and we never know. So.
And I don't want them to think that I had you on here and I didn't ask some hard questions. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I expected it.
Yeah.
I expect nothing less.
And
I've been
those
through
weren't
fire.
too bad,
No,
were they?
no.
Were they?
Not at all.
So you have a huge event coming up.
Oh my goodness.
You've been
so
working
excited.
hard on it. So
Yes.
so start from the beginning.
Wow. So, Arrowhead United Way has done some amazing work and I love saying this, over 130 years serving the community, work that came out of two priests that decided back in the 1800s the importance of giving. And I don't think we'll ever get away from that.
So that might have been my first event.
You were in a horse and buggy, I'm sure.
I rode in on a dinosaur.
Right. And here we are, we fast forward to an organization of which I was on the youth council many years ago. I mean, not that old, but many years ago. I served, never knowing that one day I would then come back during a period of time where it's so many people in San Bernardino that have been on the board. When you look, we have a historical history of past presidents. We've had mayors and council people and city government people that served. And so many of you all know Doug Ruan, who's the late Doug Ruan now, who passed away. But in 2019, he decided to retire. And so still carrying this mantra. Well, guess what was happening right then? COVID was en route, and we didn't know. And the needs were astounding, and navigating through that and being safe and keeping staff safe, I was asked to lead the board. But what we found that over the entire period of time is that food was always an issue. And so food insecurity. It's an ongoing.
Right now, bad.
And I thought, we have Community Action Partnership, all of these people that do these wonderful jobs getting food out is never enough. So then after hearing and constantly, talking about our strategic plan with the board, we actually came up, and our board is being led currently now by our current chancellor, Diana Rodriguez. And we began to realize this hunger is really ongoing, and it's affecting our senior citizens
And our students.
and our students.
Yeah, because if a kid's hungry.
Exactly. You can't function.
Yeah.
You know, you can't expect them to sit there and wait until lunch.
And this is the other thing. If they're hungry and they're not sleeping
Yes.
well, you don't get sleep and hunger, but you
No.
got a hangry kid.
No. And
you
it
know?
goes hand in hand with our homeless population of youth that's growing.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that during COVID, I knew about what Dr. Thayer had done over at San Bernardino Valley College. He started a food pantry for those students, and that was helping those students that were on campus. But as the more we talked about it and looked at some statistics, saw some Cal State students came to City Council, did some numbers on our hunger here in San Bernardino, and we said, this is it. We need to make sure that we are ongoing and spreading this so that we can help in different ways. Well, the food pantry was one. We want to help the whole family where they can access, because they're a student. We said, what better way can we do that than to adopt them in some way and continue to create that need? Well, we have a board member, Alton Garrett, who served previously, who does a lot of musical entertainment things. We began to talk about it at the board, and I said, well, we don't need to do a gala. You know, everyone has perfected that. We don't want to add to something that's already being done. Let's do something different. What better way to do it than Motown?
Yes.
Motown brought us all together. Motown has been something that we've cried together. We've been happy together. It's a journey of cultural, of everyone, as well as bringing us together, knowing we can fight together.
I think I just heard Dr. Hill
Right.
screaming. She's up there doing the wobble.
Yeah,
up there.
she is. She's like,
man.
you're gonna bring Motown. So he has this band that travels all over the country, band members that are from Australia, band members from Earth, Wind, and Fire. And they agreed to come and help us do this wonderful thing called the Magical Music of Motown right at the theater at San Bernardino Valley College. And we proposed it to them. They got on board, and the rest is history. So we're excited. You're going to be there, right?
I'm doing my.
Oh my gosh, we're going to come pick you up. You at least got to just show up and hear a number.
This is Saturday, right?
This is Saturday.
Okay.
This Saturday, October. We're in October. October 14th. Doors open at
6:30.
6:30. It's only going to be a 2-hour show, 7 to 9, but it's going to be incredible. We are going to be leaving that event supporting some other community events that are happening that same night. But that's the after party. I told everybody we can go to the after party and continue to support.
I'm not promising, but I'm doing my best.
We got tickets for you. Any pressure? Any more pressure than that?
Yeah.
Right.
We got tickets for you. We're leaving tickets tonight.
I mean, like the manager of this station kind of gave me like, you will be at the. Wait, are you a Native Sons of the Golden West?
Oh. The brothers will be meeting.
Yeah, aren't you a Native Sons?
Of course, born and raised.
Well, why aren't you going
that
there?
night? Oh, because I have the magical music of Motown.
Yeah, well, I always have an excuse too, and this time he went to my girlfriend, right?
Oh.
And Amy tells me, right? So
my
then I'm
God.
like, oh, so that's how they're gonna get me from now
Oh
on.
my gosh.
Anybody that's smart does.
Yeah, well, she's
Yeah.
Amy's the boss, right?
Right.
So they're gonna.
I have a ticket for her too.
They're gonna like, okay, we'll get the boss to go.
But we're excited, and we want everybody to come out. We've been doing, it's just been a 90-day journey, actually, of getting the word out. Staff is doing an amazing job. I don't know if you all, has this been announced yet? Do you all know where Tanya Hensley spends her days at now?
No, I haven't really talked about it.
She's over here being quiet. She's on staff now, people.
She worked at the United Way.
She's at the Arrowhead United Way on 6th and D. Yeah, that's where she hangs out. She's had us on Talk of the Town, and we've been everywhere. She's doing a whole. She's gonna have raffle prizes.
I am
she's
gonna have raffle prizes.
Opportunity drawings.
Yes.
Opportunity drawings. So she's doing that. She's over here being all modest, but she's behind the bang as well. They're all making this happen, all for San Bernardino. We're bringing this to San Bernardino, and this is the inaugural. That means this is not a one and done. We want to build on this. We want to show community all over how we always come together in San Bernardino, and hunger is something that's not going away, and we want to be at the forefront of all of it. So
I wish when I was in college,
I know.
right?
Right.
I could tell you stories about getting zucchinis out of a friend's garden, and that was dinner.
No.
Man.
Yeah.
Top ramen and all of
Right?
those things, and it's
So is that what? So like for me, the United Way growing up was seeing the football player,
Everybody
helping
says
the
that.
kids.
I just got that the other day.
Everybody says that.
But to understand now that
Yeah.
it's so much bigger than
It is.
that.
It is.
And what you're saying, it's mostly food.
So what we do there's three pillars. It's the wellness, which is making sure that you are healthy. We speak to education because we do training programs, and then we also make sure that if your finances are not together, we know that all couples together. So we fight for education, health, and the ability to make sure that you are well, you're healthy, right? And that's a healthy community. And a lot of people, I spoke at City Council actually the other week inviting them, but I wanted them to know over COVID, just COVID alone, we gave away $500,000 to the community to help those that were struggling. Not only that, on a weekly basis, we're giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars of medical supplies, brand new wheelchairs, crutches, diapers for our adults. We're going to adopt now some senior citizen homes. We're giving away food right in that one little modest building on 646 North D Street.
So this is like a conglomerate of
Yeah.
organizations. Where is the next nearest United Way to the Arrowhead chapter?
In Riverside.
Riverside.
Okay. So you'll hear Inland SoCal, but it's very important what we are trying to re-engage our community to know. We serve 25 geographical areas. All of San Bernardino, all of Rialto, Colton, Grand Terrace, all of the cities up in the mountains. That's us, Muscoy.
The Arrowhead.
The Arrowhead.
chapter.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
not a chapter. Arrowhead.
Highland.
United Way.
The Arrowhead United
So
Way. Okay.
when we do a disservice, and we all do it, just like we'll say a Mickey D's, but it's really McDonald's, we have cut it short oftentimes. It says United Way. Well, we're under the umbrella of Worldwide, United Way Worldwide, and then we have the ability license to operate as a United Way, but we're different names in different areas.
Okay.
So that's the important to know. Your money stays locally in San Bernardino when you're giving in this area, Rialto, and that's why it's a big thing.
the mother organization.
Yes, so we
filters some money
yeah,
down.
We pay
Yeah.
them to have that name. That's the
Oh,
beauty
okay.
of it because they've been around for so long. So we're established various locations, and we all have different initiatives of the way we do things, but it's still the same pillars: fighting for health, education, making sure that the community is financially stable.
How do you walk the tightrope of being a politician and the president, the CEO?
So.
Yes, like I'm turning off this hat. And I'm thinking,
Yes, a lot of it, and that's why there's people like Tanya that exist who just has just as many hats as me. But it's again to try to get people to see the service, to see what we do versus, oh, but you're the school. I am all of that, but it's still saying I serve kids and families. And so here is where I have a tangible, exact way that has nothing to do with me creating a policy. It has me to do like, you have a need, you need this, we can give it to you right now. And so the face, like we have, Chris Ortiz doing an amazing job. Edwina Barger has been there over 20 years. She's worked there. And then we have Roxanne, and then we also have, who am I missing? We have Amber, who's there now, helping get out resources. And then we bring in Tanya, and you're going to see her a lot more because one of the big things of us, we don't have, other than our community investing in us, giving donations. That's the big push for us, because we don't just get this allocation all the time, but what we do is make sure we're doing campaigns. And I don't even like to use that word. I want to change it. But employee campaigns is, if you think back, they come in and they say, here's an envelope, can you give us $5 weekly, donate it to United Way? Well, that's really the core of how we are able to operate. And now, of course, there's grant funding. And you'll see that we have a number of funders that are supporting this event and has given us funding to be able to give out to our community, as well as to sustain, our operational work that we do.
And
So, yeah, it's
I
good.
read the other day, and I love this, 99% of what is raised in our community stays in our community. So if you look at those 25 cities between Grand Terrace, Colton, Highland, up to Big Bear, Rialto, and this whole valley, you realize that money stays right here. So when we go and we work with, we have some upcoming charities we're looking at partnering with, like Ronald McDonald House. When we go and we support them, we're supporting them, but it starts to become this joint effort of moving our area forward, right? And that's in Loma Linda. So that'll be one of the things we do with that city. So it's no longer just San Bernardino, because a lot of people know, especially the three of us, as San Bernardino, right? They look at me and they go, oh yeah, talk of the town, making San Bernardino a better place. Oh yeah, I love San Bernardino, right? And they look at Gwen, the same thing, it's San Bernardino. But what's nice is we're not just San Bernardino, we're all surrounding communities as well.
Well, I'd like to let people know that you live in San Bernardino County, especially if they do.
Yeah.
And if you live in Riverside County, you used to live in
It's
San Bernardino County.
I like that.
Yeah,
It's
I
true.
like
It's
that.
true.
So
It's true.
we are really all very
Yeah,
connected.
we are.
And we do have a mountain range that goes through the center, but even on that mountain range, there's people we serve,
It
right?
is, It is, and we cover those needs,
Yeah.
you know, and
Bringing everybody
I'm
together.
excited. Yeah, and that's what we want to do, and that's what we're hoping for Saturday. You know, put your blue suede shoes on and come on down.
Get over there to Valley College, and you can scan the QR code I got online right now. I'll
Awesome.
be posting it.
Oh yeah,
I'll be,
thanks.
yeah, we can post the flyers around here or there, but
Yes.
just get that QR
Yeah.
code or show up on.
Show up.
Yeah.
We're ready for you. We have Zelle. We're gonna Zelle you. And go to our social media page. Like our page. We're on every social media platform, from Facebook, old school, and to X and Instagram and Talk of the Town pages. My page. You know me. I'm always doing something. So you can go to Gwen Rogers, Dr. Rogers, whatever you like. It'll pop up.
So I have a now to the election. I have an election question for you.
Ooh.
So, how do you, if you have two friends and they're both running for the same office, how do you personally deal with that? You don't have to mention any names. Just how do you personally deal with that?
Wow, why, Robert? Oh my gosh, two friends. I'm trying to think if I've ever had this.
Because
happen.
this happened to Dr. Hill. I watched it happen in front of me.
And you're right.
Yeah.
And she did tell me this, and I saw her do this too as well. And I have adopted this. She finds a way to support you both, and generally it's through finances.
Give a little to both.
Give a little to both. That's usually the thing, and kind of stay out of it. But because the biggest thing when you are running, that's what you need. You know, you need it, and you know, you don't shy away, you know, from people. You show them, you know, the kind of equal support. And that was her solution, because that did happen to her, and I was like, how do we do this?
It's not easy. To have a
Yeah.
space for them to feel
both.
comfortable to interview
For both.
on is
Yeah.
hard too.
It is,
right?
and I
So
can
like if
imagine
they
what
think
you-
I'm like,
yeah.
you know, Damon Alexander is my
Yeah.
council
And
member.
then
he made me a commissioner.
Right,
like,
and then they're
yeah. But
Right.
like, of
Yeah.
course I support Damon Alexander,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean that I can't support you too if
Yeah.
you're running, right?
Right,
And give
No.
you a space.
It's
Maybe
true.
the people actually decide this.
It's true.
We only one vote, you know,
Yeah,
each, right?
Yeah, it is true. And then sometimes, now, are you taking it to another level where it means like you also live in the area of the two friends? Because that's even a
That's even harder.
because you gotta vote for someone.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta
Yeah,
vote.
yeah,
with
yeah. If
someone.
it's in the sixth ward, I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Or the
if
fifth,
it's a
like,
different person,
yeah,
then you can
third,
support
yeah.
out. But yeah, just love them both.
Yeah.
Love them both, and yeah.
Well, this is the advice that we all could, and all you
Support.
politicians get it too. 'Cause
Yeah,
it comes.
Well,
it sometimes happens.
happens.
I'm going to say this, right? Because this happened to me in the last election. And I had someone that made me a commissioner that I really liked and supported, and always brought them out to community things and tried to make them look good. And then I had a friend that ran
That must have been the hardest job ever. No, I'm sorry.
and then I had a friend that was running against them. they asked me to go on my show and all of those things. One of the things that I did was I said, you cannot badmouth him.
That's great.
And one of the things that I really respected, I'm going to pull a name out, about Mike Gallo when he was looking at running for mayor is he didn't badmouth anyone.
That's the right way to run.
Right. And he said, I feel I can take us to the next level.
Yeah.
And so even though it made the person upset that was in that position, they never asked to go on my show. They never asked me for the things the other person did. I'd have had them on my show as well, right? But it was the thing that they didn't realize the work I did behind the scenes. Supporting them, because I did appreciate that they had made me a commissioner and done some of those things. And so
cool.
I think a lot of times
you do that, and
right?
you all, I have to give you both. Anybody that does talk shows and things like that, you don't know how much that do if I put on my elected hat to be able, or even in this, to come on and have this space, because maybe if a person didn't care, you don't even get that platform, right?
That's what I worry about.
Yeah, the fact that you open it up.
Yeah. Someone gets $40,000, all of a sudden they get all the play, and they don't deserve it just because they got $40,000. They have to get it because they earned it.
Absolutely. And so you open that up, and you have done that forever. And we love, KCAA, because we know we all know that.
Mark Westwood, we put it out there.
We love it because you love us during those time periods, and you're very fair. And then, each person has to then, as they go in the voting booth, decide what aligns to what they would like to see without us losing friendships. And I will say that wonderful woman, Dr. Hill, always told me and others that were elected officials, remember that there's the day after the election that matters. So win, lose, or draw, how are you going to continue to show up for your people is what really matters.
And don't be that candidate that you only see during the
Right.
election.
That was basically what she was saying.
Then they come back and they're like, I'm Mr. San Bernardino.
Yes. And
Like,
it's
wait,
like,
wait,
what
wait,
happened?
right.
So it's a way, and you these platforms are more important than ever, and I certainly appreciate it. Why? Because the magical music of Motown.
Yeah, it's coming this Saturday.
This Saturday night, guys.
6 o'clock, right?
6:30, the door is open, but you can come early. Preferred parking is right in the front, so this will be good.
Yeah, go right to my page, Robert Porter, and it will. The QR code is right there, and I'll also post the flyer up
we'll
there.
Take it. We take
And
any donations.
It's on your page too,
it's
right?
On my page.
Yeah.
It's on my page.
Go to Gwen Dottie Rogers or Gwen Rogers.
Go there.
How come you have so many pages? You're that
so,
special?
No, what happened was that's another elected thing. So, when I first Facebook, I chronologically share everything that I'm doing. And then when I got the elected, everybody's, well, you need to have your election page. So really, if you look at my two pages, one, you can see a lot of things in education over there, what I'm doing, who I'm visiting, where I'm going. And then you don't have to worry about seeing all my happy faces, my birthday or whatever. But you can look at my page.
But I want to see your birthday. I want to thank you all. Thank you so much. Make sure you check out Motown here. Thank you, Tanya Rhodes Hensley and Gwen Dowdy Rogers. We appreciate you so much. Thank you, Arlington, for being our standout of the week.
Yay.
And this is Robert Porter with the I Love San Bernardino County radio show. And Eric, we are out of here.
Say you don't know me, I recognize my face. Say you don't care who goes to that kind of place.
KCAA Loma Linda. The Legacy KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM.
News Radio, I'm Brian Shook. At least 11 Americans are among the dead after surprise attacks on Israel triggered the start of an all-out war over the weekend. This is now the third day of Israeli forces battling the Palestinian militant group Hamas. The group says it will execute hostages on a live broadcast if Israel targets civilians in Gaza. A Hamas spokesperson said they will respond to any targeting of people in their homes without warning. The militant group claims to have more more than 100 hostages, including Israeli army officers. Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Michael Herzog.
We call on the free world to make an unequivocal demand from Hamas to release all hostages unconditionally.
President Biden has been interviewed by the special counsel leading an investigation into his handling of classified documents. In a statement, the White House said the voluntary interview was conducted at the White House Sunday and Monday. American business leaders are expressing support for Israel after it declared war on Hamas. J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon said the bank stands with Israel and called the bloodshed a terrible tragedy. The Partnership for New York City, which represents more than 300 of the city's business leaders, said they're reacting with the same anger towards the violence in Israel that they felt during the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is now running as an independent in his bid for the White House. Lisa Taylor has more.
Kennedy Jr. was running for president as a Democrat, but told supporters in Philadelphia he'll be switching parties. He began his run in the spring against President Biden. The 69-year-old says he wants to be free from taking sides. I'm Lisa Taylor.
The Powerball jackpot is still rising and is now the third largest in the history of the game. You're listening to the latest from NBC.
Holidays, Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue is also available for catering. That's Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue in Fontana and now in Riverside on Arlington.
Hello, Inland Empire.
And beyond.
Worldwide. I'm Uncle Moan.
And I'm DJ Cool Tay.
And you're tuned in to About That Life
Awareness Hour.
Hey, what's up, Inland Empire?
And beyond.
Worldwide. We're back on the mic once again and live in the studio broadcasting from Redlands, the beautiful city of Redlands here at KCAA. Radio station, the station that leaves no listener behind. We're broadcasting on two channels, two frequencies. That's 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM. You can tune in on your local listening device at 792-5222. That's 909-792-5222.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pouty Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due
Hello, Inland Empire.
And beyond.
Worldwide. I'm Uncle Moan.
And I'm DJ Cool Tay.
And you're tuned in to About That Life
Awareness Hour.
Hey, what's up, Inland Empire?
And beyond.
Worldwide. We're back on the mic once again and live in the studio broadcasting from Redlands, the beautiful city of Redlands here at KCAA. Radio station, the station that leaves no listener behind. We're broadcasting on two channels, two frequencies. That's 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM. You can tune in on your local listening device at 792-5222. That's 909-792-5222. Well, you can call in. That's the call-in number. You are welcome to tune in on your listening device. You can on your cell phone at 888-909-1050. That's 888-909-1050, and you can listen in that way as well. We back again with another episode. We got DJ Cool Tay in the building. I'm Uncle Moan, and man, I'm just feeling kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? I kind of got a little bug, but I had my little secret elixir. I drank. No, it's good. It's okay, man. They could, you know what I'm saying? They could hear me as long as they could hear me.
Okay.
I ain't got to be on camera all the time.
That's right.
Yeah, what we saying is more important than what we look like, right?
That's right. That's right.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, so we out here just doing our Dougie, trying to encourage, inspire, and uplift. There was a gentleman here that left before we came on. There's a show that I Love San Bernardino comes on right before we do, and He always taking his time getting out of here too. By the way, I'm gonna have to get on his bumper about that. We always got to wait for him to move. But anyway, one of his friends, he has a vegan pizza place somewhere in I guess Colton off Barton Road or something. You said? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Anyway, I don't like vegan stuff, so I didn't really take any. But anyway, before he left, he